A 3D printed submarine? Not likely, but maybe something close to it. More and more U.S. warships and submarine parts are being 3D printed, and now the Navy is going after the really hard problems, the top official says. I could go anywhere in the Navy and you will see additive manufacturing, but it's not solving our biggest problems. Christopher Miller, the executive director of Naval Sea System Command, said during Govini's Defense and Data Summit in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. But in the last year, the Navy, especially its Maritime Industrial Base Program Office, have been upping their efforts. Miller said, "We have really pressed the accelerator in going after the really hard problems, not the simple polymer things, but really hard material combinations that really do provide parts into our availabilities. For example, one boat is using additive manufacturing for more than 100 critical parts, but it's taken time to get the supply chain and technical communities comfortable and skilled with the technology. We're starting to see a return on additive manufacturing," Miller said. "We spent in the last couple of years over $200 million just in adding manufacturing areas to try to accelerate the area, but we still have a lot of work to do." He said it's unlikely that any U.S. sub will ever be fully 3D printed. I'm not sure it'll ever be 100%, but clearly we can do better than we're doing today, Miller said. "We can build bigger components. The challenge is some of these things get to be very, very large, and so you still have to be able to bring these things together, integrate them, stack them on top of one another. But we have been having some really good conversations about how far we can really press those materials to build bigger and better, because we all recognize there's great opportunity there." Efforts to boost production. As the Navy has been struggling with years-long backlog in submarine production, officials are suggesting that 3D printing might be the only way to get parts fast enough, but that has not stopped the service from trying a lot of other things as well. From 2014 to 23, the Pentagon poured nearly $6 billion into shipbuilding industrial base in a bid to get more ships faster, according to the Government Accountability Office. That number, which includes contract incentives and direct investments, is expected to double to $12.6 billion for fiscal year 2028. The Department of Defense, specifically the Navy and Office of the Secretary of Defense, OSD, spent billions to support the shipbuilding industrial base, and this includes funding for infrastructure and workforce improvements for shipbuilders and their suppliers, but it has yet to fully determine the effectiveness of that support. The Pentagon and Navy have awarded contracts to look into the supply chain's needs and evaluate how investments are spent, but those efforts broadly have not been coordinated to prevent duplication or overlapping in spending. For example, the Navy and OSD do not coordinate across all investment efforts, such as between submarines and surface ships, though they both make related investments in workforce and infrastructure for these ships' categories. And moreover, the Navy has not created performance metrics to measure investment effectiveness. On the workforce side, one of these investments is a Navy-backed ad campaign, We Build Giants, often seen at sporting events, which promotes the job hunting site buildsubmarines.com. Miller said, "The ad campaign seems to be going well, but the jury is still out in turning clicks into careers." And then he said, "What I'm really monitoring right now is our ability to retain. We have to show commitment to that workforce, keep them actually excited about the work, get them in the game, and get them to stay in the game." Now, the regional challenge is a bit trickier because there have been to be considerations about where shipyards are built near a population that would want the jobs. And this is from Defense One at DNYUZ. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.